Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at reviewing the coordinate system. Now, just to take a kind of step back, you did have the opportunity, and we discussed last week, the option of coming up to the school to receive a paper-based unit packet. So if you've done that, your note sheets follow along with the class instruction, and they can be found on page 1. So you're free to kind of follow along with us and take notes as we go through the material. It can also be really helpful to refer to when you're completing your assignment. So we'll take a look at what the assignment looks like and discuss that a little bit later. But I just wanted to point out to you that if you did get the paper-based packet, this note sheet can be found on page 1. Again, you can kind of follow along with us if needed. This video also is posted into the assignment task, so you can also watch it as many times as you need to. All right, so kind of diving on in. So a coordinate system is basically just this fancy figure down here, which you all should be somewhat familiar with, which is a coordinate plane. That's probably what you're more commonly used to hearing it be referred to. And it's used to locate or give locations to two-dimensional planes, lines, things of that nature, because no longer are we just looking at a line that moves just left or right. We may have a line that is diagonal. So again, that's where the two-dimension comes in. There is a horizontal distance and there is a vertical location. So the horizontal number is found along the horizontal line, which hopefully you remember is known as the x-axis. And again, two-dimensional, right? So we also have a vertical location, which is called the y-axis. So this vertical line here is our y-axis. And last but not least, the intersection of the two lines is right here in the middle. This is where I'm referring to, that center point. This in geometry is called the origin. And you'll often hear it be called in geometry the origin. So it's good to know. All right, now a coordinate plane contains 4 different quadrants or 4 different sections because we've got 2 intersecting lines, which creates 4 distinct areas. Now they're labeled using Roman numerals as to not confuse with the number system that is used along the axes to identify those locations. So the quadrants use Roman numerals, and we start with the top right corner. That's quadrant 1, and we move counterclockwise. So quadrant 1's in the top right, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and last but not least, quadrant 4 there is in the bottom right. So any point can be located within one of these 4 areas, or the 4 quadrants. And we kind of establish that by using ordered pairs. So my writing is not the best. Something to get used to for sure. So you can describe their location by using an ordered pair, meaning that there is an order to how you list your numbers. X is the first number that you list, and if you remember, it is this horizontal number. So X is among that horizontal line. And then again, it's got a vertical value or vertical location to it. So again, that second number is my Y value, and it's going to tell you how far up or how far down the location is of that pair. So again, if I had a specific ordered pair, 3, 2, 3 would be my X value, where it falls along that blue line, and 2 would be my Y value, where it falls along my vertical line. All right, so let's take a look at some actual graphing. So to plot a point, you start at the origin. You start at the middle, the center. That's always where you start. Well, that looks very rough. But hopefully you guys get the point that you're starting at the center. Okay, not much better, but hopefully you get it. Then we're going to move left to right depending on the X coordinate. Okay, because again, we talked about an ordered pair. The first number represents my X, and the second number here represents my Y value, my vertical location. So if I'm going to plot the ordered pair 3, 2, again, I'm going to start right here in the middle at the origin. Okay, now I made the mistake of, I shouldn't really put a dot. I'm just going to kind of hover my pen there, okay? And then 3, 2. So 3 tells us our X value. And notice I just kind of color coordinated it just to kind of get you back in the practice. But our X value is 3. So I'm just going to go over 3 spaces and I'm just going to kind of hover, okay? Because it's got 2 directional pieces to it. So we go over 3. Positive 2, our 2 is positive, so we're going to go up 2. And my order pair would be right there. Over 3 and to the right because it's positive. Because notice if I go to the left, I'm in negatives. Possible, but for this problem, for A, it's positive. And then a positive 2 means I would go up because my positive 2 value along the green is in the upward motion. So point A, located at 3, 2. All right, so if I take a look at B, negative 5, 1. So again, just to kind of stick with our color coding to help us out here in the beginning, my negative 5 is my X value, it's my horizontal. 1 tells me vertical, my Y value. So going back to graphing it here, negative 5 is my blue value. So I would start kind of hovering my pen, wherever you are, right there, in the origin. And I'm going to go to negative 5, not make a dot, because I've got 2 directions I need to follow before I plot my feet down. So negative 5x and a Y value of 1 means that I go to the left 5, up 1. And this would be my B location. And moving on to C, 6, negative 4. So again, 6 is my X value. Moves me left and right. Negative 4 is my Y value. Okay, so going to graphing it. And I'm going to hover right in the middle. Positive 6 along my blue line. It's my X value. Sometimes I think about it, you got to go down Brownsville Road before you go up side streets. Blue being my Brownsville Road, right? So I'm going to start at street 6 or go over 6. That moves me in the right direction since it's positive. Negative 4 means I go down. So I get to negative 4. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So my C, right down here in quadrant 4. All right, another one here, D. Sometimes I think it's helpful just to see a bunch of different examples. D, negative 2, negative 1. So negative 2, again, I'm moving left and right first, going down Brownsville, going down the blue. So here's my negative 2, down negative 1, and here would be my location for D. Okay, E and F, let's stop and talk about them for a minute. So hopefully you notice they both include a 0. They're the most commonly missed ordered pairs, in my opinion. My experience in the classroom, these are the ones that students most often miss because they're too antsy. I feel like a lot of people think they have to move. 0 means you don't actually have to move. 0 means you've no location to go. So if I start at 0, 0, right, because that's what I always do is start the origin, E is going to tell me my left and right movement, my Brownsville movement, my blue movement, however you want to think of it. And it says 0. So guess what? Because you're not moving anywhere left and right because there is nowhere to move. My value for X is 0. So I go nowhere. Now I'm ready to move up and down. And if you notice, my green value or my side street, however you want to think of it, is 4. So this, again, my X tells me I move nowhere left and right. I'm still here, right in my house. Then I'm going to go up 4. So this one's going to stay on that that Y axis. So this would be E. A lot of times people flip it, guys. They're just so antsy. They see the 4, they go down 4 and say, oh, there's no other number. I just put a dot there. You actually have to pay attention to where the 0 is. Okay, and in this case, it was my X value. So I move nowhere left and right. Just have a vertical movement up of 4 since it's positive. All right, and then F, take a look at it. It's kind of the flip side. F, my location is positive 5, 0. So again, going along with my highlighting, 0 this time is my Y value, right? 5 is my X value. So if I get out my tool to graph, starting at origin, that's always where I start. I'm going 5, 0. So 5 is my Brownsville, my blue number. And then 0 is my up and down. But guess what, guys? This time I don't go down a side street. I'm right on Brownsville, and I'm stuck. So this time my coordinate would be plotted there right on the x-axis. So again, all right, sorry for that little disruption there, guys. So again, this was just purely meant for review, but clearly if you don't do this all the time, or if you might have just forgotten some of those elements. So it was really helpful to review because again, we need to be really solid with these skills as we move forward on to the next couple lessons. Just to share with you what your assignment is for today. Here it is. So you're going to have a coordinate system here with a bunch of points plotted on it. You're going to have to do a couple different things. The first thing is going to ask you to tell what point, what letter is located at each ordered pair. So you're basically following these directions. 3, -2 means you'd go over 3 and down -2 and say, oh, okay, point B is located at that ordered pair. So we would put the letter B. And you're going to go through for 2, clear up to 6. 7 through 12, opposite. You're going to write the ordered pair given the point. So you're going to surf around. So here's E on my ordered pair. Or I'm sorry, on my coordinate plane. So as far as my coordinates, again, I need to start at my origin and I needed to go down, or I need to go left -3 and down 2. So my ordered pair for this one would be -3, -2. So you're going to be giving me the ordered pair for each of those points. The last two tasks, again, same kind of coordinate plane you're going to see at the top of the worksheet. You're going to have to plot 3 points on your own. And then the last one is identifying what quadrant each point is in. Okay, so again, it might be helpful to have taken notes on this so you can remember the quadrants. You can Google where the quadrants are. You can go and watch the video where the quadrants are. There's many different ways you can do it. And guys, you'll find in the real world, whatever method works for you, you do, as long as with honesty. So again, if you picked up a paper packet, your assignment is on page 2. You will find this worksheet on page 2. You can complete it on there and take a picture and submit it that way. If you don't have a paper packet, you can either A, if you're waiting until tomorrow to pick it up, just hold your horses and finish it then. Or B, if you're not sure if you're going to get the paper packet or you just haven't gotten it yet and you don't want to get behind, your other option is these worksheets are available online. So you could write them down by hand, just number yourself 1 to 20, give me the answers, and then just submit it via picture. So again, whether you have the actual worksheet to complete or you're writing it down on paper, either works fine. You just have to take a picture and submit it. Don't forget there's a help button that reminds you how to submit pictures online. Super helpful if you forget. You can always reach out to me either inbox or Teams. But otherwise, hopefully this was a review for you and good luck. Reach out if you need any help.